Welcome to Reparenting Daily, your free daily guide for inner child healing and repairing the relationship with yourself. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is the daily reading, the second is a discussion of the reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is peaceful binaural beats meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you could join us on this journey of self-expansion. If this is your first time here, welcome. As a celebration of passing episode 700, I've opened a free membership tier for the Patreon community so you can access additional resources and join the weekly Zoom calls for free. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and that so many people are really struggling. My hope here is to still encourage others to continue the work on reparenting and to offer a free community where people can come together and do that. I'd also like to thank all of you who've been along on the journey so far. Just as a reminder, this is a free podcast, but you can support the project by purchasing the Reparenting Daily Journal, where you can follow us along all year. This 333-page journal gives you extra insight and resources for each week, and also provides space for you to keep your notes. Another way to support the podcast is to purchase the Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, volumes 1 through 3. This collection organizes famous and obscure fairy tales from around the world into the 3 phases of the hero's journey. While you might think that fairy tales are for kids, I'd like to challenge you. These stories contain profound truths and lessons carried down over millennia that we can use in our reparenting journey. It's a fun way to reconnect with your inner child. Each volume comprises 10 fairy tales. They include an analysis section to help you dive deeper into the message, as well as journal prompts and space to reflect on the story's meaning in your life. Lastly, you can also support the project by taking a paid Patreon subscription, by purchasing the books on the website, or by donating via Buy Me a Coffee. You can find all this information on the Support Us section of the website. So now, with these announcements out of the way, let's dive into today's practice. Today, we're going to be listening to a portion of a video entitled The Flow of Joy Equals the Flow of Abundance by Brian Withers. Now, if you're not new here and you've been joining us around on YouTube or perhaps Instagram, one of the social media, you've probably already seen some of the shorts that I've made of his videos. I do encourage you to click on the link in the show notes because we will only listen to a portion of it. And with each of his videos, he used to do daily videos as well. He has an excellent, a very fun, I would rather say, visual component. So he has some kind of like slideshow that he includes on his shows. So there's a lot of visual aids that help you to hone in on the message. So don't forget to click on the link in the show notes and check out this video as well as his other videos. If you also click on his name in the show notes, you will go directly to his website where you can purchase his books. I've read both of them and I highly recommend them. They are excellent books, extremely useful, especially if you're coming from a background where you are in the process of reparenting and perhaps for the first time teaching yourself how to think correctly. Now, for me, when I came across Brian Withers, they say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and I came across his content right at the perfect time when I was in this evolution of going or stepping beyond that ACA program. I would rather say it this way. So it's more about stepping into empowerment. He considers himself a personal empowerment coach, and this is something that is so important if you're coming from a background of reparenting, because there are skills to learn, but there's also your fundamental human needs, the human bill of rights. Perhaps you're familiar with that, if you've heard of that, and if you haven't, check it out because it's the core of your own empowerment. So in this video, I'm sharing that because, oh yeah, by the way, we're in the month of August, and the theme for this month is Healing the Inner Child. We're in week 4, and the theme for this week is integrating play and joy. It's the last week of August. The year is flying by, guys. And normally I give that intro a bit earlier, but I got a bit carried away on Brian Withers because I'm so thankful for his work. I'm so thankful for him, and I hope to be able to reach out to him and connect one day, perhaps even to have him as a guest on the show. Play and joy are essential because that's when we're returning to our natural childlike state. That's when we are feeling energized. It's the opposite of all the stress hormones being produced in our body. Finding our way back to joy is so essential. It's how we step into abandon, expansion, and flow. It's how we allow ourselves to relax and release stress. Play is such an essential point of life And joy is something that you should seek as much as possible. You are here for joyous expansion. That's the reason why you're on earth, because joyous expansion is your indication that you are in alignment with your true self, with the higher power. And once you've made that connection, you have that endless flow of energy, true abundance. Not joy that comes from, toxic games of, manipulating or exploiting others. Of course, that can produce joy for certain people, but I mean the authentic joy that comes from living in alignment with who you truly are. That is abundance. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a listen to Brian Withers.
The flow of joy equals the flow of abundance. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, wait a minute here. Now, since the flow of joy equals the flow of abundance, and we can choose joy through our day on all matters at all times, a feeling of ease and calm and any of those high vibrations, we can choose that at any time through our day, independently, unconditionally. What does that mean? Well, that means we're rich. We're born rich. We know that. We're born rich. And this is the reason, is because the frequency of the things that we want are high vibration. That's joy or calm, that whole spectrum of high vibration energy. And we can independently and unconditionally choose it through our day no matter what. So that means that the flow of abundance naturally flows into our experience when we choose to do that. And it is a choice. The way you feel is a choice because the thoughts that you choose are a choice in any situation. All right? So let's get into this. How is it that this flow of joy causes this flow of abundance? Because that's a real easy, effortless way of life, of experiencing the things that you want. So how does that work? Well, let's look at the universe. It's a sea of energy. This universe is a sea of unlimited energy, right? And it will assemble itself into anything that you want, as long as you have no resistance about it. Anything. It will just assemble. All that energy will then assemble into specific manifestations, right? And these are the kinds of things, right? In relationships, friendships, business, material items, even money. That might grab you by surprise, that money is actually a manifestation of the flow of abundance, right? From joy. And so this is really going to make it clear to you that money is not our purchasing power, right? Vibration is what buys everything. Money is the exchange mechanism, and we exchange it and we move it around. But vibration is what buys everything. Vibration determines the flow of the money, and then you use the money. But it's vibration at the very root of everything, right? So what's in between? Where do we go from a universe of energy, unlimited energy, that's flowing around, and then it assembles itself into these physical experiences that we want? What's in the middle? What goes on in the middle that moves it from that unlimited energy to the assemblance of a physical manifestation that we want? What's going on in the middle? We want to know that. We want to know that because we want to be sure that we're doing it so that we get the manifestations that we want, because everything in your life is a manifestation of energy. So look at your life and look at what's going on. What do the manifestations look like? Are they ones that you want? Because if they're not, then you are having the universe assemble the energy in a way that you don't like. Well, how are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Right? Let's look. And how can we do it differently so it assembles in the way that we want? Well, we know that just going through your daily life, right, that you're going to have contrast. You're going to have things that you want to be different or more of, or whatever it is, but you just want them to be different than they are. And your inner being is with you and acknowledging all of that. And it doesn't have to be bad, even though Faulty beliefs will make us think situations are bad or troubling or wrong or failures or trauma or all that kind of thing, right? That's just a misunderstanding of contrast. So when something comes and you don't like it for whatever reason, then that's your asking. A beautiful thing of asking. That's what causes expansion in the universe. So your inner being's with you, knows what it is that you don't like, and from that what you do like, and so instantly then sets it up as a vibrational reality first, right? So you have your physical reality as it is, as you can see it with your five senses, and then you have a vibrational reality, which is the wanted version of all the things that you don't like in physical reality. So at any time, you can never say you don't have what you want. That is completely invalid. You always have it. You either have it physically or you have it vibrationally. Now, if you have it vibrationally, then you want to allow it to move into physical. But you can't say you don't have it. You look at your life right now, and you look at something that is physically not where you want it to be, that's not present, and you can't say, well, I don't have it. You want to stop yourself from that, right now and going forward for the rest of your life. Never allow yourself to say, I don't have it, or things like I can't afford it. That's ridiculous too. I may cover that later on in the video, but you have everything that you want. You either have it in your physical world or you have it in your vibrational world. If it's not in your physical world, it is definitely 100% in your vibrational world. And you can allow that to flow in. In fact, it wants to flow in. It wants to find you. But you got to be in a certain state of energy for it to find you. Okay? But it's there, right? All the details are done. Your inner being doesn't need you to be in on this part at all. So you can see this part's automatic. The contrast, as soon as you experience something you don't like, boom, that's the asking. Automatic, effortless. Here it is, your inner being. Doesn't need you at all to assemble the details for you to receive what you want, right? That's automatic too. Look how easy life is, right? And then here we are. Now we're in our daily life. And if we're in our natural high vibration mindset, no faulty beliefs, just all the natural stuff, if that's the way we grew up, right, then we have a positive mind. Our conscious thinking mind is positive in the way that it chooses thoughts about everything. And it is because the beliefs that we have are in alignment, they're in agreement with the way that life really works and why we came here and who we are. So we're naturally believing life is good for us, right? Abundance naturally flows. I don't have to do anything for it. In particular, I just enjoy my days expressing my natural gifts and talents and finding the joy in everything, finding the joy in contrast, right? Some things are easy joy, and some things you look for the joy factor, right? And you can always find it in everything, right? And things like I'm an agent of the universe and what that means. And that's massive what that means. And I talk about it in some videos. I talk about it at length in both of my main teaching books. Everything is a mirror. See, you know that. So you're not offside with anything. Whatever comes to you, it's like, okay, no big deal. Just out of my energy. If I like it, I'm going to have more. And if I don't, then I'm going to work on my energy. I'm going to change my energy. I'm not blaming anybody, not complaining, not criticizing anything. It's just energy stuff, right? Just from my belief. I can do and have whatever I want easily. See, these are the natural beliefs that we would have in our subconscious mind. And when we do, then our conscious mind is influenced automatically in that way. So whatever happens, we get these automatic good feeling thoughts, and then we're feeling expectation, positive, peaceful expectation, anticipation. We're feeling joy, worthiness, appreciation, abundance. These are things that are just naturally, we're feeling them through the day, on everything, all the time. Waking up in the morning, looking forward to the day, looking forward to life, with all these great thoughts and feelings about the way life is, right? That's it. And then we're receiving because we're there, we're flowing in that energy on everything, and so then we are receiving the path, which then connects us with the experience that we want.
Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this video by Brian Withers. Again, don't forget to click on the link in the show notes. He has decreased his frequency. That's actually where I received the nudge to start reducing my frequency as well, because he used to do daily videos for quite some time, and now he's reduced, and he does maybe 2 or 3 a week, I think, and they're a bit longer. And so he's still active, making excellent content. So please do check it out as we come together to find all the resources that we can use in this process of reparenting to raise our vibration and to return to our truest self, so that we can live in joyous expansion and live in the abundance that we deserve. That's why we are here. And again, I'd like to remind you that so many people say that reparenting is hard, healing the trauma is hard, going past. You really are creating your reality with your own words. The own words, you are really creating your reality as you speak with what you believe. As we think about the text that we've been reading, psycho-cybernetics, atomic habits, reality transurfing, all of these and more, the Kabbalion, thought vibrations, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, all of these texts, even the Bible and the messages from Jesus. And if you're not a Christian, the lessons from the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran or the Torah or the I Ching, for that matter, or the Tao Te Ching, they're all the same. And while it is true that we live in a world that is more complicated, there were people in the past, some known, some unknown, who were able to come past trauma and achieve great things and to grow despite that. And this was a time before we had created psychoanalysis to overcome, complexify everything, right? And if you think about it, most of the psychological tools, devices, systems that we have are established for a Western audience, and only one technically demographic of audience within that Western group, if you catch my drift. So healing trauma, reparenting is not as hard as people tell you it is. It's a matter of your belief. It's something that's independent. That's why I don't create this program to try to teach you an exact solution or exactly what you need to do step by step. Instead, to provide you with the resources and the introduction to the things that you need to investigate on your own to come up with your own solution. But one thing that is certain is that joy is essential. That is our navigation point. I was watching a interesting documentary about Fiji last night and how the first inhabitants of Fiji arrived there 3,000 or so years ago. I forget how long it was, but really, really long ago. And these ancient people they believe they came from Philippines and Taiwan, were able to navigate that long, vast Pacific Ocean in ancient times with no technology by using the stars. And other tools, of course, but the stars. So imagine that your joy is your star, your North Star, whatever is bringing you joy. Pursue that. And so as we turn to some reflection questions, excuse me, currently in your life, how much joy are you able to access? Can you quantify it? How would you go about quantifying that for yourself? Do you feel that it's enough or not enough? Number 2, if someone asked you to make a list of the things that make you happy, how easily would you be able to complete that list? And number 3, what do you need most in your life that would give you the most joy? What do you perceive that you might not actually have in your physical reality at the moment, but that if you had it, would give you the most joy? Maybe list 3 things. You could relate these to goals and then develop a plan if it's something that's reasonable. So try to think about something that's actually like a goal that you can actually make this feasible. So don't say maybe I want $1 billion yacht, that would bring me joy. Of course, you can put that down and you can work towards that because nothing is impossible in the universe. But as you're making the first steps, as they mentioned in reality trend surfing, we start with something a little bit more reasonable. Of course, you can still wish for the yacht, but maybe I would like to meet a new person every month, an introduction to a new person or something like this, or something that you can measure and that's going to get you on that upward spiral. That's the whole point, because we want to find your joy and then get you on that upward spiral so then you can increase your momentum and you'll be able to manifest and attract even larger things such as that yacht, if that's what floats your boat. So thanks for being here today. As always, take care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please find a place where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you most comfortable today. Just take some time to listen to yourself. Next, be sure that you're taking time to be with your breath and to connect more fully with your body. Don't be disturbed or overwhelmed by your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass. Just observe them. Do not engage with your thoughts. Only be mindful of them passing, as if they are leaves drifting down top river. Use this time to connect with yourself. Whatever time of day you are listening to this, Namaste.